Hi, everybody. Al Bernstein here with another one of my quick hit videos. And on this one, I'm going to talk about what I call the middleweight mashup. And that, of course, involves all the activity in the middleweight division that's coming our way in the next month or so, with some very excellent fights that will help sort out where the middleweight division will, in fact, end up. One of the first fights is going to be this weekend at Mandalay Bay. And in addition to the fight, there is an activity and an event that I'm a part of that I want to let you know about, because tomorrow, Friday, at 4 p.m. at the Orchid Lounge, the night before the Canelo Cotto fight, I will be doing an event at the Mandalay Bay at said Orchid Lounge, in which I will be doing a question and answer period with boxing fans, also there to sign and take pictures. And also, the first 50 people that come to that event will receive a free signed copy of my book, 30 Years, 30 Undeniable Truths About Boxing, Sports, and TV. So if you come to that event at 4 o'clock at the Orchid Lounge, and you might want to get there a few minutes early so you can be one of the first 50 people to that way you'll get a copy of my book. We will also be giving away tickets to the closed circuit showing of the Cotto Canelo fight. So it's going to be a very fun activity. We're going to be breaking down the fight and also giving lots of prizes away. So we'll have a good time. That's 4 p.m. On Friday, tomorrow, the day just before the Canelo Cotto fight. Well, let's talk about this middleweight mashup. It involves 6 fighters in 3 fights, all trying to make their mark right now in the middleweight division. They're fighters at different places in the pantheon of middleweights, but nonetheless all play an important role. Let's talk about the first fight that is going to happen in this trio, and it's a doozy. Very, very great fight, I think, between Canelo Alvarez and Miguel Cotto, which, of course, will be this weekend on Saturday at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Now, as for well, let me first say that this was, of course, the WBC middleweight fight. It is no longer. Miguel Cotto, who is the champion, decided not to pay the sanctioning fee to the WBC, and thus the fight is no longer a championship match. He felt the fees were too high, and probably, I'm guessing, from Cotto's standpoint, let's face it, he's right toward the end of his career. If he wins this fight, in all likelihood, he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather. Everything's pointing to that. And Mayweather coming out of his very brief retirement to fight Cotto, which is a match that hardly needs whatever championship is attached to it. It's a side issue, so that fight will certainly sell. And Cotto just didn't feel like it was worth it. So it's not going to be a championship fight. Meanwhile, it's an important fight, and it's one that fans want to see. And Miguel Cotto, who, of course, has retooled himself with his new coach, Freddie Roach, over the last 3 fights, becoming very much more an attacker, even more than being a boxer-puncher. He was always more of the puncher than the boxer, but now they've really zoned in on an attacking style, which served him well against Sergio Martinez and also the other 2 foes he had. Will it serve him well against young Canelo Alvarez? Well, let's talk about Alvarez for a second. He's a fighter who is hell on wheels when you're in front of him and he's able to run off his very nice combinations, punch with power to both the body and the head. He's a hellacious body puncher, which I expect to see him use a lot in the Cotto fight. His issue is with movement. The fighters he has had trouble with, Erislandy Lara, Austin Trout, Floyd Mayweather, all brilliant boxers. And that movement gives Canelo lots of problems. But this isn't that kind of fight. And in some ways, that's good news for boxing fans, because you can anticipate that this will be an action fight. It's almost inconceivable to me that this fight won't have action. Anything short of a of a clash of heads that creates a cut early. And this fight is bound to be interesting. And we'll see whether this attacking Cotto can deal with the youthfulness and an energy of Canelo Alvarez. So it should be a very, very good fight at Mandalay Bay. Now, we push forward, then we go a couple weeks past to the first Saturday in December. And what do we have? We have Peter Quillin taking on Daniel Jacobs for another version of the middleweight title. Battle of New York. Two fighters raised in New York, live in New York. They are both popular fighters there. They'll be fighting in the Barclays Center, and we would expect a very big and boisterous crowd there to root on Jacobs and/or Kid Chocolate Peter Quillin. Now, Peter Quillin has had a very intriguing run in the middleweight division. He is a fighter who has done extremely well, but a draw with Andy Lee, in which he failed to win the title that he wanted to win, was an issue for him in recent fights. And the question is, how well is Quillin able to bounce back from that disappointment? Quillin is a power puncher. He has power in both hands, has some defensive liabilities, but has been able to get past those liabilities with his power. As for Daniel Jacobs, who, of course, is an inspirational story because he's battled back from cancer to make himself once again a top middleweight. He had been a top middleweight before and fell just short of getting to the title, then had to battle cancer. Now here he is back with an opportunity of this nature. So it's an amazing story for Daniel Jacobs. Will he be able to take advantage of it and beat Peter Quillin? Well, Jacobs is an excellent offensive fighter. He too has some defensive liabilities. And additionally, in his last fight against Sergio Moro, who's not a big puncher, he was down in the fight. So as a result of that, there's no question that we expect this fight to be an all-action fight. And both these fighters think that somebody is going down, and the idea of it going distance seems remote. Then we move ahead into December, where across the pond, another middleweight fight of great value with yet another one of the crowns on the line when Andy Lee defends, taking on Billy Joe Saunders. Now, this fight to me is a fascinating one of so many in the UK that is competitive and good. And this gives me an opportunity to say to all of the folks watching there, the state of boxing in the UK is spectacular, really is. And congrats to the fighters, promoters, and everybody, TV networks and everybody there for making matches people want to see. And Andy Lee and Billy Joe Saunders is an example. Andy Lee is, of course, a southpaw who has power, again, is a common theme here with some of the fighters we're talking about, has had some defensive liabilities, is in exciting fights all the time. He and Peter Quillin were a slugfest. And he feels that he is going to have a little too much power for his opponent. But that opponent, Billy Joe Saunders, is a fantastic ring technician. Sanders fought Chris Eubank Jr., who many people had already anointed as the next big thing in the middleweight division from the UK. And guess what? Sanders had a surprise for Eubank Jr., and he beat him by decision. And so becomes, I think, a really interesting one, because the one person that emerges from that one, I think of all these six people, the winner from that fight is the one, in my opinion, that's most likely to be willing to take a fight with Gennady Golovkin. And let's be honest, Golovkin is the elephant in the room when it comes to all these people, because most people believe the middleweight division is Golovkin here, everybody else here or below. And so this middleweight mashup is going to help sort out where all those people are and how they work vis-a-vis Gennady Golovkin. And I can't wait. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait for this weekend, just to remind you that on Friday, tomorrow, I will be at the Mandalay Bay at the Orchid Lounge at 4 p.m. That's the day before the Canelo Cotto fight. So the date is Friday, November 20th, and it's tomorrow. And we'll be there giving away books. We'll be giving away 50 books to the first 50 people that come there, and I'll sign my book, 30 Years, 30 Undeniable Truths About Boxing, Sports, and TV. And we're going to give away tickets to the closed circuit showing of the fight, and we're going to schmooze about the fight, and I'll do a Q&A with everyone. So we're going to have a really great time, and I hope that you will come out and visit me at the Mandalay Bay as we head into a month where this middleweight mashup could give us definition into one of boxing's best divisions.